Hey, this is Rustin Rose with Metalholic Magazine and Mojo Radio, and with me, the lovely and extremely talented Sharon Adel Within Temptation. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So we're glad you could make it. Say hello to all our Mojo Radio listeners out there.
Hello, everyone. Nice that you're listening to us.
Well, first off, I have to say congratulations on the newest member of the household, your third child. Everything going well?
Thank you very much. Fine, thank you.
With both parents members of the band, how do you juggle 3 children and the rock and roll life?
Well, it's just the same way as you do with one, of course, but it's more like it's finding the right balance between the music and family life, of course. And of course, we don't have the regular life that most people have, but still, with a lot of help from friends and especially family, grandparents, and relying a little bit also on them, and that really works very well for us. And I hope to do it for a long time this way. And if it doesn't work, we have to find a new balance, of course. But that's something that you have to see in the future. Right.
So do you think, because you've now got 3 and they're all so young, do you think that's going to slow down Within Temptation as far as touring and recording?
No, I don't think so. It's just like I said, you have to find the right balance. So maybe you're going to do it in a different way. Like in the past, we used to tour like 10 weeks in a row. Well, that doesn't work very much when you have a family life, so you have to do it in a different way. And what we think is like maybe go on two weeks on tour and then be home for 2 weeks and go on tour for 2 weeks again. That they see that that you're at home as well and not too long away. And if things don't work out, we have to see what we're going to do. Maybe Robert will stay home a little bit more, and in cases of emergency, he will always go home. So the tour can go on. And there are several possibilities how to solve these kind of problems.
Right. Always new challenges. He's not the only. He's not the only new member of the family. You've also got Mike Quillen, your new drummer. He's got some big sticks to fill there. How did you decide on him as the newest member?
Well, he already filled in for Stefan in the past a few times, and he's just a very talented drummer, and he fits in the group very well. But in the beginning, we were still thinking, maybe we just wanted to be sure that we chose the right person, because, well, to have a lot of changes within the band doesn't really feel very good towards the atmosphere in the band, but also I think for the fans. To get used to different people every time, so we want to take this choice with that we take our time for it, and so that's why we chose him so late. Although we already had worked with him, but I think it's the right choice. And if it isn't, we have to try. And he's really a really cool guy and very talented. So he's already that is already so much already that it's so well in the group. So I think it's going to be fine in the end.
Well, it's been 4 years since The Heart of Everything, which was a brilliant album, by the way. Why so long between records?
Well, when we released the album, there were a lot of... the album did very good. It did pretty good, actually, in a lot of countries. And we had to tour much longer than we used to. And also, we needed a sabbatical a little bit, because we have been touring so intensively, and it was good for the atmosphere within the band to take a little bit of a break from each other and also from the music, and find the right inspiration for a new album also again. So it was a combination of a lot of things, like intense touring, needing a break, and also write a new album, of course, as well. So there are a lot of reasons why we took 4 years.
Right. Well, let's talk about the new album. It's your 5th studio album, The Unforgiving. And while it's still clearly Within Temptation records, there's many different styles on this one. Some classic Within Temptation moments, but a lot of 80s influence.
Yes, exactly. Well, what we had was with the last album, we felt like, when we start writing on a new album, we start at the point from, okay, what don't we like about the previous album? And with The Heart of Everything, we couldn't find anything that we didn't like. We still are very satisfied and very proud of how the album sounds. So we didn't have a starting point. And we also felt that we had to go to a new musical direction, because we had finalized our sound through the years more or less totally on The Heart of Everything. And we were ready to make a different kind of go towards a different direction. And explore new things. And normally we would never had any kind of influence of the 80s, but now it really felt right when we wrote the songs, and we just embraced it and just went along with a new vibe that was within the writing, actually.
Right. So, I mean, do you feel like you're redefining the Within Temptation sound, or just broadening the scope of who you guys are as a band?
I'm not sure yet, because that's something that we have to see for the future, because at this moment it feels like we're rediscovering ourselves again a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And but it could be that in a few years' time you go back again to more what you did before. I don't know. It depends a little bit how it feels, and we just go with the natural flow, how we feel things. And well, with this album was the same thing.
Right. Well, The Unforgiving is so much more than just an album. And the scope of this project is enormous. The record, the comic, the films. Why did you choose to tackle such a large endeavor rather than simply record just a new record?
Well, it's for us always inspiring to do new things, and also in a different creative corner. When you're a musician, you have a lot of you're in a way you're creating new things, of course, and of course it's only music at that time. But we also like so many other things to explore. I would like to do so many things besides just make music, and the same thing goes with the project that we did now, like so many things around it, like the films and the comic. It's so inspiring for us as a musician to do so many other creative things as well, or be involved with it. That's like a chain reaction. When you work with other creative minds, it becomes more than just music, and becomes much more. It's just a very inspiring journey to do such a thing, and I think we will do something again in the future, because it has worked out so beautifully in the end, and it was a complete the time that we were working from A to Z. It was just an amazing time to be working in such a creative vibe. And if possible, I would like to do it again with the same people next time.
Well, that's a perfect segue to my next question, which was, is the story of Sinead and the Unforgiving complete on this record, or is this just the first installment?
Well, this can go both ways. It's an end, and it can continue still. It's like a sort of open ending. So it's it is something that we can continue if we want to.
So it's out there if we want. If the muse takes you in that direction, then.
Yeah, so, exactly. And it's not just about Sinead. It's Sinead is one of the main characters, but she's not the only one, and she's not really the main character. There's somebody else coming up in the comic later on who's having an even bigger part in the story. Right.
Well, and you guys, you're after the first week, you guys broke the top 50 here in the U.S. That's got to be very exciting for you.
That was we were like doing a dance in the living room, like yay! Finally, Billboard.
I know you guys are doing a handful of concert dates here in the States on the East Coast in September, but do you plan on doing a full-scale tour here in the U.S. on this record?
We hope so. It's something that still needs to be planned, but for now we start with this tour, and then we'll see how things go. And because it's pretty busy everywhere at the moment, in Europe, as in doing also a small tour in the UK and also in the US. So it's trying to divide our time in several parts of the world, of course, and. But I hope so, because it's always been, we had a great time last time we went to America. We did like 6 weeks, and we had such a great time, meeting also so many beautiful people, and it's a beautiful country as well. So we hope so, and we'll see where time will bring us.
Right. Well, you're off to a great start if you already broke the top 50 in your first week. So
that's true.
Yeah. Now, will you guys attempt to bring the story of the Unforgiving to life on stage when you tour?
Yes, that's something that we're working on now. We're working on the live show. We have some time off a little bit, and we're completely focused on developing the live show, and what we're going to try to do is, it depends a little bit because every tour is going to be different, of course. It depends a little bit on the venues we're playing at, what kind of facilities they have, of course. But what we are doing in Europe anyway, and I hope we can do the same thing in America, is we did with the theater tour a lot of 3D hologram kind of thing. And we hope to bring that as well on stage for this show, and then with the comic, of course, and the movies that we made. So that's that way you can experience more or less the story coming to life on stage.
Right. And you guys did the full orchestration stuff for some of the tour dates and things that you had done on the last album, but you guys have a very voluptuous sound, I guess, if I can use that word to describe music. It's big, full. Yeah, it's full, curvy, and full of nuances, if you will. And obviously, you can't take an orchestra on tour with you all the time. How do you adjust on the road when you have to strip down to just the six of you performing?
Well, of course, it's a lot of synthesizers, of course, and choirs by synths, of course. But it's the way it is. No one expects you, of course, to bring the whole full Mountie. But still, it's so recognizable, our sound, that it doesn't really matter. But I think, of course, hopefully we can do the whole thing someday in the future, with a choir and a big orchestra. That would be the bomb, I think, to do. That would be really cool to do, except, because we've done it so far in Holland and in Belgium, but, it would be so great to do it in other countries as well, and, the people can also, outside of the boarderies, can experience the same kind of ambience when you have the whole orchestra and everything on stage.
And, I think you guys really made your mark when you did The Heart of Everything, so I think with this album, this is really going to be, for a lot of people who hadn't heard you before, this is really going to be your coming out record for the masses.
Yeah, probably. We've been around for 15 years almost. We're having a celebration this year. But it's nice after 15 years that in some countries, it's going to be like the first album. And it's also refreshing also because it's nice to see that, that you can still make a new start in other countries as like a new band. That's a little bit strange for us, of course, being around for 15 years. But on the other hand, it's also refreshing, and it has its possibilities and positive sides, of course.
Absolutely. Sharon, I appreciate so much, as do all our listeners, that you took the time to talk with us. Before we get out of here, do you have any words for the fans, anything you'd like to say?
Well, I just hope that they can come to one of the shows that we're going to perform at in America and just have the full experience put together, and hope to see them after the show in the venue itself, maybe have a chat. And we're looking very much forward to our tour in America. Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, I meant to ask you, too. You guys did something unusual on this record, for at least the special edition. People who liked your Facebook page got a personal credit on the special edition. That thing's got to be the size of a book. How did you manage that?
Yeah, well, it's pretty small, so you have to look at it with how do you say it, special glasses to make it bigger. But all the names are there. It was like, I think the first 2,000 who were the quickest to respond. They were on this on the poster.
Gotcha.
What was also nice to mention is that before we announced the tour, before there was even the first show, there were some people that were on Facebook. They made a page and said, like, okay, within station wanted in America, and that really helped open up some eyes in America. Like, okay, maybe we should ask the band to come over again.
There you go.
It really helps. It was also nice thing to mention to the people that were a part of that.
Well, before we get out of here, one quick question for you then. Tell us something about Sharon den Adel that most fans probably don't know.
Okay, well, Robert is doing racing. He's racing cars. And he got me so far that I'm going to participate probably very soon. So I'm going to take my first lessons very quickly and then participate in some races probably. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And that's probably my weird new hobby.
There you go. Don't get yourself hurt, though, because we want you and your incredible voice and the rest of the band over here so that we can see you live and hear more great records like this one. Sharon, thanks so much for taking the time. I'm glad we could finally connect, and I look forward to seeing you guys when you're in the States. Maybe we can chance sit down in person.
That would be really cool. I hope to meet you then.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.